Thank you very much, and good afternoon and good morning to you all. Uh, Dr. Kamil, thank you very much for this kind invitation, and of course to the AmCham board members. It's always great to be back with AmCham. I'd like to thank my friends, Dr. Abinam Saeed and Dr. Muhammad Kamal, for joining you on this event and giving me a chance to learn from their questions what I could have written better or what needed to be further enunciated in my book. You made it to a very good summary of the book, so I will try to keep my comments salient to the point and engage more in the question and answer session. But before I do that, I want to self with the words expressed by Dean Kamil regarding itself or our sympathy towards the Lebanese people. These are difficult times in many respects, but there's no question in my mind that we all stand with Lebanon in this tragedy. The question asked by Dr. Kamil, why did I write the book? He's right, it's not an autobiography. I don't like writing autobiographies. I read them with a grain of salt. But they're always entertaining. But my objective was quite simple. After some hesitation, I decided that if I look at the Middle East today and compared it to when I was born, which is quite a while ago, it's much worse off. And therefore, my generation and the generation before me have a responsibility, at the very least, to place their experiences on record, to make it food for thought on how to move forward better in years to come, out of an obligation to our younger generation. Second point I'd like to make is I'm not a historian. My background before becoming an educator has been as a practitioner in diplomacy. Therefore, I tried to define why I should write the book and from what perspective. And I decided to do that in 4 perspectives. Had to have a foreign policy dimension, and I had to have an angle to present. And the 4 angles I presented were that of a young member of society in '67, just watching what was happening. Secondly, as an insider, access to information from '73 to '76, because my father was foreign minister. I was not a practitioner at that point, at least not in the foreign ministry, but I was well aware of what was happening during the '73 war, post the war, the diplomacy after that. Thirdly, as a practicing diplomat from '76 to 2008, until I finished my post in Washington and slowly left the foreign ministry as a practitioner. And then fourth, as the principal person responsible for foreign policy as foreign minister from 2013-14. Those were my angles, and that's how I started to write the book. So I ultimately wrote the foreign policy dimensions of the book first, and I also wrote, because I'm a background as a practitioner, what we needed to do moving forward. And then a colleague of mine said, you're not going to get away with that. You have to explain a little bit about your own mindset. Why do you think this way rather than some other way? And he was right. And his point was, the book will survive much longer than you will. So give readers context. I was born passionately Egyptian, but my experience was international, living abroad as a diplomat's son, exposed to things happening around the world, and also very passionate about defending Egypt because I was living abroad so frequently. But these were times of change globally and regionally. The world had finished a world war before I was born, was becoming a bipolar world. Egypt was a monarchy, moved into a republic, and you have the whole movement in the Middle East. So over my lifetime, there was significant change globally and regionally.